I used to look after Dereck, and I know that Dereck feels that he's got the beating of him. Me, I think Tyson's the best heavyweight on the planet. I really, bar none. I don't care who's opposite him. I think he's got the beating of everybody. But Dereck's there to try and prove me wrong and try and prove Tyson wrong. But this is a great, great occasion. It'll be a fantastic fight, and it's a fight that Tyson can't afford to slip up on, because we're looking at that unification fight early next year, which doesn't give him a lot of time to prepare. So is Dereck going to be a banana skin or not? He's the highest rated available fighter for him to fight. You go on BoxRec, and I'm going to read these out quickly to cut through why we made this fight. Number one is Usyk. Usyk was not available. He said he couldn't fight in December. Anthony Joshua, we wasted a month on that. He's not available. Deontay Wilder fought last week. Andy Ruiz, who's fighting Wilder in a mandatory. Then Dillian White, who Tyson's beat. Then you've got Joe Joyce, who wouldn't be available. He only fought recently. Ortiz, who got beat recently. Then you've got Joseph Parker, who Joe Joyce beat. And number 9 is Dereck Chisora. And number 10 is Pulev. So that is the independent rankings. So that's why we are where we are, with the highest available contender, who is Dereck Chisora. Well, that's where we want to be, but obviously we've got to focus on this one. And the reason Tyson is fighting is because he fought in April. The Usyk fight, if it happens, is not until next late February, March. If he didn't fight in between, it'd be nearly a year out the ring, and that's not going to happen. He needs to fight. I gave him my word. I'll put a show on by the 3rd. That's what we've delivered. And he needs to be in the ring. He needs to fight. He's been training, and he needs, after this fight, if he comes through it, he needs to be in a position where he can get into a camp and have adequate preparation for a big fight, provided he gets through the fight.
Number one, people say, well, Tyson beat Chisora twice early on. But I say, look what Chisora did with Anthony Usyk, with Alexander Usyk. That fight was a touch-and-go fight all the way before Usyk was able to pull it out. So when then Usyk was made with Anthony Joshua, people said, hey, Usyk has no real chance because look how he struggled with Chisora. But as you saw, Usyk handled Joshua 2 times far, far easier than he matched up against Chisora. That's number one. Number two, this gives me nightmares, with all due respect to Tyson, who I love dearly. I remember years ago, Tommy Morrison had won the heavyweight, WBO heavyweight championship against George Foreman and was matched in a unification fight with Lennox Lewis for then record-setting purses. And his manager said, hey, give Tommy a tune-up fight to get him ready for Lennox Lewis. So we did in Tommy's hometown in Oklahoma against Michael Bentt. And the bell rang and Tommy went across the ring and started throwing punches like mad at Michael Bentt. And Bentt hit him with a right hand and knocked Tommy cold. And that, for that point in time, was the end of a fight with Lennox Lewis and a $10 million, which was a lot of money, purse to fight Lennox Lewis. This is boxing. Every time you match particularly heavyweights in against hard punching opponents, you have to really say a lot of prayers that something bad doesn't happen.
I'm buzzing. You know, is there bad blood? Not really, but, you know, I want to take what's his and make mine. You know, so I can't box him. I can't. So I have to go in the mentally of, I have to physically take what's his and make mine. You know, so for me to sit here and try and say different things, it's not the way I operate. So now I have to get in my mindset that, you know, There's going to be loads of leathers chucked, punches chucked. I'm excited about that, but the end goal, I have to take what's his and make mine. That's my whole objective to this fight now. So what's his, I want to make it mine. Physically, mentally, I want and come and take it off him. That's how I'm training right now. I want to take it. I don't want it. I want to physically take it off him. That's what I want.
Bag here. Can you bring me bag up here, please? I have £10,000 in cash that I've collected today from Mr. Frank Warren. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 10. That's 10 grand in cash that Frank has brought for me today, because I bet Frank Warren £10,000 that Joshua wouldn't sign the contract. Guess what? 10 grand richer, tax-free, bet money. You don't. Put that back in my bag, please, and hold it tight, because that 10 grand means more to me than 10 million, because I've got it in my hand physically and I won it from Frank Warren. So I think you beat me with Joe Parker the other day, so now I'll beat you with this one. So fair play, Frank. And as for me trying to sit here and sell Dereck Chisora to the fans, I ain't got to sell absolutely nothing to nobody, because if we go to that bar over there and we order a treble Jack Daniels on the rocks, we know what the fuck it's going to do. We know what it's going to do. So when I say Chisora, don't forget, you got the so-called guys in the division that people, these guys are top guys. We offer them big fights, no smoke, no smoke. You offer it to Dereck Chisora, boom, he sat here opposite me. Man's got balls, and in today's society, in this boxing game, there's a big lack of balls. And you know who you are, these people who don't want no smoke. So with Chisora, he comes and he says exactly what it says. He does what it says on the tin. He goes to war. He's changed his name from Del Boy to War, and we're going to get a war. Now, however, I did outbox him comfortably the second time, but Chisora's style has changed, and guess what? So was mine. I used to be a tip-tap boxer on the back foot, jibbing and jabbing around the ring, and now I'm a HMS destroyer. So when you got two heavy forces colliding with massive bombs, and guess what? Someone's getting knocked out. He done very well against Usyk, and may I say, who the hell is Usyk when he's at home? People don't even know his name until he beat the bodybuilder the other day. He was a little small heavyweight who was not going to do anything against AJ when Chisora fought him. But then he stepped up and beat the big bodybuilder, and all of a sudden he's a killer. I don't think so. Listen, I rate Dereck Chisora as highly as I rate Usyk. And I will train as hard for Dereck as I would do any man in the world. And if I didn't, I'd have to be an absolute idiot. I will not underestimate Dereck Chisora. And what Bob's talking about, the Michael Bent, Tommy Morrison, no disrespect to both of them, but if you combined them both, they won't make my left shoe. So that ain't happening, because I prepare correct. And I prepare hard, and I do everything correct. I don't cut any corners. And when I go in there, I leave everything in the ring, and God forbid I got beat. It won't be for the fact that, I had an injury or I didn't train hard enough. It would be the fact that I lost to a better man on the night. So I wish Chisora all the luck in the world, and we're going to have a fight, and that's it. Going to be a good fight too, because he don't shy away, and I'm running nowhere, so someone's getting chinned. I'm not going to sit here and call Dereck Chisora names, because I won't. I fought the man twice, and I respect Dereck, and I'm actually a fan of Dereck Chisora. When this man fights, even when he was fighting my mate Joe Parker, I wanted them both to do well, which is crazy. A draw would have been the best outcome for me, because I've supported them both. And you only can look at Dereck Chisora's resume and respect a man like that. He's fought everybody. He's fought the greats of this generation and other people as well. And he always comes and brings his A game. So Chisora's had 12 losses on his record, but 8 or 9 of them have been to world heavyweight champions, or past champions, or former champions, or future champions. So you got to respect him, and that's it. I've got nothing bad to say about Dereck. I think he's a good fighting man, and he brings his A game every time. Whether it's going to be good enough to beat me, I don't think so, because no disrespect to him or anybody, I just don't think any of these people can beat me. In my reign right now, I'm reigning supreme, and I'll beat him. And then when I beat the little middleweight guy, people are going to say to me, he was too small, he was half your size, let's not give him anything for it. He was always going to win. That's what they'll say. 100%. I've seen it so many times. Just like when I beat Wilder, all of a sudden Wilder was shit, he never was any good, and now he's knocked out Helenius, all of a sudden he's a killer again. But I've slain the killer. Slain him. But who knows? Get Chisora out of the way, there might be a fourth Deontay Wilder fight. People say to me, you beat Dereck Chisora twice already. Why are you fighting him again? Who wants to see that? But I say to you, I beat Deontay Wilder 3 times. 2 times in a draw, whatever you want to say. But who here would not want to see me versus Wilder for a 4th time? Not very many people. So, we're here, we're going to fight, we're going to sell out this stadium, and we're going to put a good show on right before Christmas. And I'm going to go home and have a good Christmas with my family, and Dereck can have the same with his. Happy days.
It has to be so strong, you don't understand. You know, my mindset is going to be so tough, yeah, on the night, yeah. I think you've seen it tough about this. Not this time is going to be so tough. You don't understand. It's going to be like, it's like our bag with 10 grand in it. I'm just thinking right now. Is our bag going to leave Tottenham with 10 grand in it? Or he's going to get on the train with no money in it? Because I want that money now. This is the mindset I got. You know, I was already plotting of trying to rob that 10 grand when I was sitting here.
You don't need to rob it. You don't need to rob the man of 10 grand. I'm giving you a fortune in a minute. You sold your horses to December and you get paid.
I'm trying to explain to you this, yeah. I want to take that and make mine now. You know, that 10 grand. You understand?
Take it then.
Yeah, no, but I don't want you to give it to me. I want to take it. I want to, you know.
Take it. Man's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Take it off him.
Don't worry, man. I'm a black belt in crazy. No, I'll beat him. Yeah, I'll beat him. I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to stop him. I'm going to knock him out. 100%. I'm going to knock him out. And when I do knock him out, don't say anything else. Just say thank you. And say congratulations.
I'll say thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to knock him out. 100%. I'm going to knock him out.
Listen, if he says he's going to knock me out, I want to see him do it. And if he does, I'll be the first one to congratulate him, shake his hand and say well done. Yeah, listen, I'm expecting a good fight. A good entertaining night of boxing in Britain again, in the 2nd stadium back-to-back. I knew better than Dereck Chisora to do it with. Man who turned up. Only thing I'll say is, don't get any injuries and don't get second thoughts. Turn up on the night, let's give the fans a fight. That even rhymed, wow. Let me manage you. Let me manage you. I know you're nervous, just calm down.
Man like me don't get nervous, boy. You don't nervous.
Like he said, I'm bipolar. Yes, I am. You can't chuck that at me as an offensive thing, because I am bipolar. We know that. I've got bipolar disorder. And what? So, you can't use it against me. I'm mentally unwell. You got to go in there with a mental patient, not me. Yes!